Today is a great, wonderful, amazing, incredible day, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a Germany day. Why Germans sound so aggressive. Without further ado, let's get into this reaction. Let's go.
We are German, and as such, we are always self-conscious about getting angry in public.
Is that Hitler? Oh, guys, what the fuck? That is Hitler, right? Okay, this is what we're doing.
Our language is quite the troll.
I can do an evil old Hausfrau. Ess dein Schnitzel, sonst kriegst du keinen Nachtisch.
Deutschland ist ein Land ut Stodluten.
Na ja, lass die Hunde hocken. Nimm an wegen Schritt. Glaubst du, dass die Deutsche keinen Humor hat, ha?
German sounds harsh and aggressive.
Guten Tag! Ich will ein klein Boten haben, bitte schön! Das schwarze Boten mit der Käse.
I think it stems from Hitler, though. It definitely stems from Hitler. That's why, ever since the war, that's been the trope, that German people sound really aggressive. But actually, when I've heard German people, I've heard many different types of German people. It's such a nice accent. It's actually a really attractive accent, especially when you speak English. I like it personally, but that's just me.
It's a disgusting language. Nobody should ever speak it. It sounds like typewriters eating tinfoil being kicked down the stairs. And somebody is talking to you in German. They're saying, and you think, what is happening to you from behind? How can we make it stop?
Someone, somewhere, is always making fun of our language. But why does German sound so aggressive to the rest of the world?
Tell us, why do you sound
The German language is part of the Germanic branch of the Indo-Germanic language family. Besides German, Dutch and English are also Germanic languages. But while English sounds gentle to many people, German is often described as spat, barked, ugly, dry, cold, harsh, yapping, and military. German is rarely perceived as beautiful. There are...
Oh, guys, I feel so bad for you. What do you mean? German is beautiful. I think it sounds nice. You have different types of German accents. You don't all sound like Hitler. You sound... some sound really pleasant. Yeah.
Several reasons for this.
Go on then. Tell me.
1. Linguistic characteristics.
German has a lot of gutturals and glottal stops. They can make the language sound harsh. Let's start with guttural sounds. German has the special ach sound, which sounds very throaty. It can be heard in the German words fauchen, which means to hiss, or krach, which means noise. These words are often difficult for non-German speakers to pronounce because these sounds don't exist in widespread languages like English. Next, glottal stops. Germans pronounce vowels very strongly, especially when they appear at the beginning of a word. This causes the vocal cords to open suddenly and all the air that has built up to escape at once. Take the word apple. The German word is Apfel. You can hear it quite well throughout this example. Ich esse oft Äpfel und anderes Obst. In many other languages, the words of a sentence are spoken in a flow. In German, sometimes there's a mini pause before each individual word. Here you can hear the difference. Everything is alright. Alles ist in Ordnung.
Alles ist in Ordnung. I think that's what he said. But he's got a soft way of speaking.
Of course, I'm overdoing it a bit here, but you get the idea. These breaks can make German sound a bit barked. Some sounds exist in almost all languages, such as M and B. Others are quite unique and only appear in a few languages. In English, there's the diagraph th, for example in thanks. Germans, including me, often struggle to pronounce that. Italian, which is often considered to be a beautiful...
Let me know in the comment section, but do you find it difficult to pronounce the TH in English words like there, then, and thought, and think? Do you find that hard to say with the TH? Interesting. That's what he said as a German. That's interesting. Because obviously, as someone whose first language is English, I don't even think about it. think about it. See what I did there? I didn't do that on purpose. So, yeah, it's interesting how in language we don't think about the words that we use. It just comes out because we're used to it. And you guys don't think about the German that you use. That to someone who's trying to learn the language finds certain words like difficult, and you're like, what? You can't say danke. You can't say ich habe einen Bruder. That's all I can say.
Beautiful,
And that's true as well. I've got one brother.
melodious language uses mainly vowels and only a few exotic sounds. German, on the other hand, has many rare complex sounds which might come off as strange. We use so-called Umlaute, such as ä, ö, and ü. Again, often hard to pronounce for non-German speakers. And there's the sz. It looks like this and is essential for our all-time favorite word, Scheiße. The sz is used to indicate the hard s sound. Plus, many German words just have a lot of consonants. For example, Strumpf, or a classic selbstverständlich, which means
See, these long words, I can't say them.
of course. German is complicated, and as humans we often shy away from complexity. But isn't the real challenge to transform complexity into something enjoyable and intriguing? That's kind of the ethos of this channel and also the essence of today's sponsor, Brilliant.
What he just said in English just then is just, it epitomized German. When you guys speak, it's so charming, it's cute, because you use like in the English language, when you speak English, you use all the kind of big words, big words, the grammatically correct words, the dictionary words, and you use them in such a way, it sounds kind of like poetic. I can't explain, the way you speak English is very beautiful. To me, I don't know. The way you speak English is so it's cute, and not in a patronizing way, just in a really nice way. You use like large words, long words, and you say them in such a nice way. I don't know.
Brilliant offers interactive games, puzzles, and a bunch of resources to teach you about subjects like tech or science. They customize content to fit your needs and let you explore at your own pace. They have a fantastic new course about computer science fundamentals that we personally enjoyed a lot. If that's not your cup of tea, there's a vast library of other stuff, and new lessons are added every month. To try everything Brilliant has to offer free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/fern or click on the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. Let's jump back in. Hit it, Cybermirko.
2. Infinite words.
This is a not made up, absolutely real.
No way. Guys,
2.
no way.
Infinite words.
This is a not made up.
Is he gonna say that's not a made up word? Guys, what the hell is that? That is just a string of letters.
Absolutely real German word with 79 letters. Rinderkennzeichnungs-Fleischetiketierungs-Überwachungsaufgabenübertragungsgesetz. We will not bother you with what it means here. What we're trying to tell you is this. German has a high number of compound words. These can be really cool because the word often literally describes what it means. For example, you have a house and a Tier, an animal, and together it is a house tier, a pet. Though as a people, we seem to have made it our goal to put together as many words as possible. This has led to many long and insanely complex creations. Mark Twain already made fun of this word and many others in 1880 in his famous essay, The Awful German Language. He writes, "These things are not words, they are alphabetical processions, and the inventor of them ought to have been killed." And because the words are weird, a lot of non-German speakers find them very entertaining. They have something weirdly over-precise and orderly about them.
I feel like it's turned into a joke for German people, and you just use all these compound words and just think, how can I make a word more, like, how can I describe something in the most convoluted way possible? How can I make it just obnoxiously long? I just think it's kind of like a game for you guys to do that. Because some of your words, I'm just like, what the hell? Why? They're so complicated.
Combined with their guttural and glottal stop consonant-loaded delivery, it can give them a military touch. Ironically, we have a word for this. Konsonantenschlacht. Every German-speaking...
What?
Ironically, we have a word for this. Konsonantenschlacht.
Konsonantenschlacht.
Every German-speaking actor or model has to do the German word quiz on an American talk show at least once.
Bezirksschornsteinfegermeister. Schmetterlingsbeinschlag.
Backpfeifengesicht.
Albeit this last one being an absolute banger of a word, meaning a face that's just inviting a good slap like Jimmy Fallon's, these shows only strengthen the image of the difficult and weird German language. And this leads us to...
Prejudices.
3. Prejudices.
You probably do experience that, and I'm sorry if you do.
What do people think of when they think of Germany?
And they're saying to you something like, we have been better, but we're very vibrant in the theatre and arts and so on. All the time you listen to this, you're thinking, Hitler.
During the two...
Oh no! Do you know what? I think that's going away. I think it, and it's a bit sad. Like, yes, there are definitely prejudices when it comes to thinking of German people. Brits still have that, and they held that for a very, very long time because of what happened in the 1940s. And it's taken a long time, and it would take a long time because what happened back then was horrific for both countries, for more than both our countries, for Europe in general, for the West in general. And I think, yes, we've held on to that prejudiceness for a long time, but it's going away now. If you ask a Gen Z person about Germany or going to Berlin or whatever, it's a bit different now. We don't automatically think Hitler and the war and all that type of stuff. It's different. But I can imagine for a very long time. I know when I was growing up, the when we thought of Germany, we didn't think of that. The first thing that pops into our head is harshness, military, Hitler, and just we acknowledge you're very similar to us, but that was kind of the first thought, and that's me being honest as someone who's born in England. But it's changed now. As an adult, it's changed. It's not the same as it was before. And I'm sorry if you feel that prejudiceness from the rest of the world or the rest of Europe. It shouldn't be that way, because Germany and England, we should be so much closer than we are. Our bloody royal family are German. The history between the two countries is so strong. The only other connection to England I think would be as strong as Germany is probably France. But the connection between England and Germany is so strong. I'll tell you this, it's so strong that even me as a black person, because I do have an ancestor, I do have a great-great-grandparent who was white, not only were they white, they were German Jew. They were a German Jew. My grandma's grandma, great-great-grandma, my grandma's grandma was a German Jew. The connection between the countries, so strong. So, Anyways, I digress. I'm just talking around in circles. But, I'm very sorry that you actually experienced prejudice from other parts of the world. Let's continue.
Through World Wars, the German naturally became the enemy in many countries. German-American relations changed drastically. In the US, the teaching of German was banned. German programs were no longer allowed to be played on the radio. Authorities called for a boycott of German goods. Streets and even sauerkraut were renamed. Hitler is possible.
Wow. It's interesting though, growing up, when I went to high school, secondary school, you basically have to take a language for the first 2 years of high school when I was there. And then you can decide if you want to take a language on. And you didn't get to choose that language, but the language I got was German. So for 2 years, from the age of 12 to 14, 15, 14, I learned a little bit of basic German. So it's interesting that they banned it in America. I wonder when they got rid of that.
Possibly history's most terrifying figure, Germany's history once so gruesome it is rightly so echoed, processed and analyzed countless times in all forms of media, so it may never be forgotten. According to many linguists, the perception of the German language is in part the result of these historical and socio-cultural contexts.
Yeah.
German might have an image problem. Linguists would point out that you shouldn't judge a language based on its sound. What sounds strange to one person is beautiful to another. And if you label a language as ugly, you might miss out on fascinating insights into other worlds of thought and sound. So lastly, let us introduce you to some beautiful German words you can pretentiously incorporate into your Sprachgebrauch. Fernweh describes the opposite of homesickness, the longing for distant places. Weltschmerz is a feeling of knowing that the world will always fail to meet your expectations because of the prevalence of pain existing throughout it. And lastly, Treppenwitz, a joke or thought that you think of too late, just as you walked out the door, already on the stairs. Like, I'm sure there's a nice way to finish the video here, but I guess it just won't come to me until we hit publish.
I got goosebumps at the end. That was so nice. And there were some lovely words at the end. I like, oh, he's got a lovely voice as well. Lovely speaking voice. Lovely, like, German accent. I think the perception will change. I think it is changing very, very slowly. And our first thoughts when thinking of Germany isn't that anymore. And it sounds bad, but it's true. As the generation that experience the war, as they pass away, and there aren't many left, I think that perception will disappear. It will disappear. I think it's already on its way. The war generation are sadly, leaving us. I only have one grandparent left who remembers that time. So there you go. And I really hope that one day, like, our countries will be closer and Germany will be more of a destination that British people decide to go and visit, seeing as you're just across the water. I hope that really happens. I do. I really do. Really do. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Until the next one, I will see you very soon.